Taylor Swift is really driving some people in the MAGA movement totally crazy.
Please don't believe everything Taylor Swift says. We're all begging you.
Marsha Blackburn is doing a very good job in Tennessee. She's leading now substantially, which she should. She's a tremendous woman. I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about her. And let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay?
The televised spectacle was one that redefined the intersection of pop culture and political commentary, sending shockwaves through both entertainment and political landscapes. Taylor Swift took center stage on live television with a performance that was as unapologetically bold as it was artistically intricate. Every gesture, every note, and every carefully choreographed moment was imbued with a critical energy that questioned the integrity of a political couple who had recently assumed national prominence. Swift's performance was not just a display of musical virtuosity, but a layered symbolic statement that resonated far beyond the confines of the stage, challenging the narrative surrounding power, marriage, and public trust. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The event was characterized by an elaborate production design that seamlessly melded elements of performance art with biting political satire. The stage itself became a canvas on which Swift painted her dissent, utilizing symbolic imagery and evocative lighting to dramatize the personal and public fractures in the union of a newly elected president and his spouse. The set was adorned with visual motifs that alluded to fractured mirrors, crumbling facades, and shifting realities, creating an atmosphere of transformation and disillusionment. Each visual element was meticulously curated to amplify the performance's overarching message, that the marriage, much like the political structure it represented, was built on a foundation of fragile alliances and compromised ideals. Swift's vocal delivery was a masterclass in both technique and emotional expressiveness, transforming the stage into a platform for personal revelation and political commentary. Her voice soared and dipped with the emotional cadence of a seasoned storyteller, each lyrical line serving as a vehicle for deeper cultural introspection. The performance was structured in segments that moved from introspective ballads to explosive anthems, each phase punctuated by dynamic choreography and striking visual transitions. The arrangement was designed to evoke a spectrum of emotions, from melancholy introspection to defiant rebellion, and it did so by subtly weaving in metaphors and allegories that reflected the fissures in the presidential couple's public image. In the midst of this artistic tour de force, Swift employed an array of symbolic gestures that encapsulated her critique. There was a moment when the stage was bathed in a somber glow, and a single spotlight isolated her silhouette against a backdrop of shifting shadows, as if to symbolize the isolation that accompanies personal and political failure. This was followed by a dramatic sequence where the entire ensemble, choreographed with precision, disrupted the visual narrative by shattering a meticulously arranged set piece that symbolized the polished yet brittle veneer of political alliances. The deliberate act of destruction served as a powerful metaphor for the collapse of illusions, suggesting that beneath the glittering surface of political rhetoric lay a stark reality of discord and disintegration. The performance was carefully constructed to evoke multiple layers of meaning, inviting viewers to interpret the spectacle on both a personal and a societal level. At its core, the event was a repudiation of the spectacle of power, a deconstruction of the polished image carefully curated by political figures. Swift's artistic commentary underscored the idea that the public facade of invulnerability and perfection is often an illusion, maintained at the expense of truth and genuine connection. By challenging this narrative, she ignited a dialogue about the responsibilities of public figures to uphold the values they profess and the inevitable fallout when those values are compromised. Beyond the technical brilliance of the performance, what made the event so arresting was its audacious willingness to blur the lines between entertainment and political protest. The televised moment was a convergence of two powerful forces: the magnetism of celebrity culture and the gravitas of political discourse. Swift, a pop icon with an unparalleled ability to command attention, turned the performance into an act of protest that was as much about reclaiming artistic freedom as it was about critiquing the institution of power. Her act of defiance was not couched in overt political rhetoric, but was instead expressed through a language of art that communicated dissent without resorting to conventional protest slogans. The imagery and thematic elements interlaced throughout the performance invited viewers to question not only the authenticity of the political couple's union, but also the broader implications of power dynamics in contemporary society. The performance suggested that the institution of marriage, when entwined with political ambition, becomes vulnerable to the corrosive effects of personal failings and ethical compromises. In a world where public figures are often deified or vilified with equal fervor, Swift's critique underscored the inherent contradictions of a system that elevates personal image above substantive integrity. Her performance was a reminder that the very foundations of public trust are contingent upon the unyielding commitment to authenticity, a commitment that she implied was lacking in the celebrated political partnership. The convergence of art and politics in this event was a testament to the enduring power of creative expression as a tool for social commentary. Swift's performance demonstrated that even in the high-stakes arena of national politics, art can serve as a potent catalyst for introspection and critique. The deliberate blending of aesthetic beauty with raw, unfiltered emotion created a narrative that was as intellectually stimulating as it was visually captivating. By intertwining personal expression with political critique, Swift managed to convey a complex message without the need for overt or didactic explanations, relying instead on the universal language of music and imagery. The implications of the performance reached far beyond the immediate shock value of its execution. The act of obliterating the public image of a presidential marriage on live television served as a powerful indictment of the performative nature of political alliances. Swift's bold approach challenged viewers to reconsider the narratives that are often taken for granted in the realm of politics. The event raised important questions about the role of media in shaping public perceptions and the responsibility of public figures to embody the values they claim to represent. It invited the audience to explore the tension between personal authenticity and the demands of public office, a tension that lies at the heart of modern political discourse. There was an undeniable theatrical quality to every aspect of the performance, which was enhanced by the deliberate pacing and timing of each segment. The performance unfolded like a carefully choreographed play, where each scene built upon the last, creating an escalating sense of urgency and inevitability. Swift's ability to seamlessly transition between vulnerability and defiance was a testament to her understanding of the performative aspects of both music and politics. The narrative arc of the performance, with its carefully constructed moments of tension and release, underscored the complexity of the issues at hand. It was as though each note and each movement were calibrated to evoke a visceral response from the audience, compelling them to confront the uncomfortable truths that lay beneath the surface of political power. The deliberate choice to stage such a provocative event on live television was itself a commentary on the power of mass media as a conduit for both information and emotion. The medium of television, with its ability to reach millions in an instant, transformed the performance into a shared cultural experience, one that resonated across diverse audiences. The live broadcast allowed for an immediate and unfiltered connection between the performer and viewers, heightening the impact of every moment. In a world where media saturation often dilutes the potency of individual messages, Swift's performance stood out as a singular moment of clarity and defiance, a moment that compelled the audience to engage with the issues on a deeper, more personal level. The interplay between celebrity and politics was further accentuated by the performance's subtext, which hinted at a broader cultural reckoning. The event underscored the idea that the personal lives of public figures are inextricably linked to the political narratives they help to construct. In a society where celebrity culture often intersects with political ambition, the performance raised critical questions about the ethical boundaries of public life. It suggested that the personal flaws and vulnerabilities of those in power are not merely private matters, but issues that have far-reaching implications for public trust and democratic accountability. The performance forced viewers to confront the reality that the personal is political, and that the integrity of a political union is a reflection of the broader societal values it purports to represent. The performance also served as a critique of the cult of personality that often dominates political discourse. By obliterating the carefully cultivated image of a presidential marriage, Swift challenged the notion that personal charisma and public image are sufficient substitutes for substantive leadership. The event was a visual and auditory reminder that the allure of celebrity can obscure critical issues of governance and accountability. It was a call to look beyond the superficial trappings of power and to demand a higher standard of integrity from those who seek to lead. Swift's performance was an artistic intervention that sought to dismantle the myth of perfection that is often projected by public figures, revealing instead the inherent vulnerabilities that lie beneath. The meticulously orchestrated performance also invited viewers to reflect on the role of art as a mirror to society. Throughout the performance, Swift employed a variety of artistic techniques that served to amplify the critical undertones of her message. The interplay of light and shadow, the use of evocative set designs, and the dynamic choreography all contributed to an immersive experience that transcended the boundaries of traditional musical performances. Each element was carefully calibrated to evoke a sense of urgency and introspection, prompting the audience to question the narratives that are often taken for granted. The performance was a vivid illustration of how art can function as both a reflection and a critique of the prevailing social order, challenging viewers to reassess their assumptions and to engage with the world in a more critical and informed manner. The cultural resonance of the performance was undeniable, as it tapped into a collective sense of disillusionment with established power structures. In a political climate characterized by polarized opinions and heightened scrutiny of personal conduct, the performance struck a chord with audiences who had grown weary of the sanitized narratives often propagated by the mainstream media. The raw, unfiltered energy of the performance served as a cathartic release for those who felt marginalized by a system that prioritized image over substance. Swift's artistic choices resonated on an emotional level, evoking a sense of empowerment and defiance that transcended traditional political divides. The performance was a rallying cry for those who demanded accountability and authenticity from their leaders, a call that was both personal and collective in its scope. Underlying the entire performance was a sophisticated understanding of symbolism and metaphor. Swift's creative vision was not limited to the realm of music, as she skillfully employed elements of performance art to convey a message that was as complex as it was provocative. The performance became an allegory for the disintegration of established norms, with each visual and auditory cue serving as a reminder of the fragility of power and the inevitability of change. The deliberate use of contrasting images, of grandeur juxtaposed with decay, of unity clashing with isolation, created a tapestry of meaning that was open to multiple interpretations. This ambiguity, far from diluting the message, enriched it, inviting viewers to engage in their own process of interpretation and introspection. A further dimension of the performance was its commentary on the interplay between personal relationships and political legitimacy. The televised event was a stark reminder that the stability of any political partnership is contingent upon the strength of its personal foundations. Through a series of symbolic gestures and carefully orchestrated sequences, Swift suggested that the personal failings of those in power could have profound implications for the credibility of their public personas. The performance challenged the notion that personal matters can be neatly compartmentalized from the responsibilities of leadership, asserting instead that the two are inextricably linked. By exposing the cracks in the carefully maintained facade of a presidential marriage, Swift underscored the importance of transparency, accountability, and authenticity in the realm of public life. The sheer scale of the performance, broadcast to millions of viewers, underscored the power of artistic expression to spark conversation and provoke critical thought. The event became a moment of collective introspection, compelling audiences to examine not only the behavior of those in power, but also their own complicity in upholding cultural myths and expectations. The performance was a vivid demonstration of how art can function as a vehicle for social transformation, challenging entrenched narratives and inspiring new ways of thinking about power, identity, and responsibility. By turning the spotlight on the personal dynamics of a political marriage, Swift invited viewers to confront the complexities of human relationships and the often unspoken interplay between personal failings and public life. The production's aesthetic choices further reinforced its critical commentary on the superficiality of political alliances. Through a series of meticulously designed visual tableaux, the performance juxtaposed images of opulence with those of decay and disarray. These stark contrasts served as a visual metaphor for the inherent contradictions within the political establishment, a world where the appearance of strength often belies a deep-seated vulnerability. Swift's performance was a masterful exploration of these contradictions, using the medium of live television to expose the inherent weaknesses that underpin even the most celebrated unions of power. The carefully orchestrated interplay of light, shadow, movement, and sound created an immersive experience that resonated with viewers on a deeply emotional level. A remarkable aspect of the performance was its ability to weave together multiple layers of meaning without resorting to overt political diatribes. Instead, Swift relied on the subtleties of performance art to communicate her message, leaving ample room for interpretation while still delivering a powerful critique of the political status quo. The complexity of the performance lay in its ability to engage the intellect as much as the emotions, inviting viewers to explore the nuances of power, loyalty, and authenticity. Every gesture, every movement, and every carefully composed musical phrase contributed to a narrative that was as intellectually stimulating as it was viscerally compelling. The performance was not simply an act of artistic rebellion. It was a nuanced exploration of the myriad ways in which personal integrity and public authority intersect, collide, and ultimately unravel. The event's impact on the cultural conversation was immediate and profound, resonating with audiences who were hungry for a break from the sanitized narratives that often dominate political discourse. The performance reinvigorated discussions about the nature of celebrity, the responsibilities of leadership, and the critical importance of authenticity in both personal and public spheres. In a time when the lines between entertainment and politics are increasingly blurred, Swift's televised act served as a clarion call for greater accountability and introspection. It challenged the audience to reconsider the values they hold dear and to demand that those in positions of power reflect those values in every aspect of their lives. The televised performance was a vivid demonstration of the transformative power of art when it is wielded with purpose and conviction. Taylor Swift harnessed her immense creative talent to craft an experience that was as aesthetically stunning as it was ideologically provocative. Every element of the performance was imbued with a sense of urgency and defiance, inviting viewers to see beyond the carefully constructed facades of political power. The event was a reminder that true artistic expression is not content to merely entertain, it strives to illuminate, to challenge, and ultimately to transform the way we perceive the world around us. The interplay of musical innovation and visual symbolism created a performance that was both mesmerizing and intellectually invigorating. Swift's ability to blend the emotive power of music with the critical lens of performance art demonstrated that art can be a powerful agent of change, capable of cutting through the noise of conventional political discourse. The performance's layered narrative, rich in metaphor and symbolism, compelled viewers to engage in a process of introspection, reevaluating not only their political allegiances, but also their personal expectations of leadership and integrity. It was an act of artistic defiance that underscored the importance of honesty and vulnerability in an age dominated by curated images and controlled narratives. Throughout the performance, every element, from the nuanced choreography to the evocative set design, contributed to a powerful critique of the modern political landscape. The televised spectacle served as a bold reminder that even the most celebrated institutions are susceptible to the corrosive effects of personal frailty and ethical compromise. Taylor Swift's act of creative defiance was a profound exploration of the tensions that exist between personal authenticity and public image, a tension that lies at the heart of contemporary political life. By exposing these contradictions through the lens of art, she compelled viewers to confront the stark realities that often lurk beneath the surface of public personas. The performance resonated on multiple levels, functioning as both a personal catharsis and a pointed commentary on the nature of political power. Its intricate tapestry of imagery, sound, and movement served as a mirror reflecting the inherent contradictions of a society that venerates power while often neglecting the virtues of humility and integrity. The event was an invitation to look beyond the surface of political rhetoric and to engage with the deeper, often uncomfortable truths that underpin public life. It challenged viewers to acknowledge that the personal failings of those in power are not merely individual lapses, but symptomatic of a broader cultural malaise. In its totality, the televised performance was a tour de force of artistic and political expression. Taylor Swift managed to create a moment that was both spectacular in its artistic execution and profound in its cultural implications. The event redefined what it means to engage in political discourse in the modern era, using the medium of live television to craft a narrative that was both visually arresting and intellectually compelling. Every aspect of the performance was a deliberate act of artistic subversion, designed to call into question the established norms of political legitimacy and to spark a conversation about the true nature of power and accountability. The cultural reverberations of the performance are poised to serve as a lasting reminder of the power of art as a medium for political commentary. Swift's bold act of creative defiance illustrated that when music and imagery are harnessed with a clear purpose, they have the potential to shatter long-held assumptions and ignite meaningful dialogue. The televised spectacle was a vivid illustration of how art can serve as both a critique and a catalyst, challenging entrenched power structures and inspiring viewers to embrace a more authentic, unvarnished view of reality. The unexpected performance created a turning point in the evolving relationship between creative expression and political narrative, carving out new territory for how dissent can be communicated in a highly mediated era. In this remarkable display, a celebrated musician reimagined the traditional boundaries of protest by interweaving innovative artistic techniques with pointed social commentary. The stage was transformed into a realm where aesthetics and ideology converged, giving rise to a form of expression that went far beyond mere entertainment. This transformative approach underscored the growing belief that art can serve as a subtle yet powerful catalyst for societal introspection and reform, prompting audiences to reconsider long-held assumptions about the nature of political authority and public responsibility. At the heart of this groundbreaking moment was the strategic use of performance as a means to challenge established narratives. The artist deliberately embraced a bold approach to question the legitimacy of a certain political institution, using the medium of music and stagecraft to convey an undercurrent of resistance. This creative gamble resonated with a diverse audience, drawing attention to the inherent tension between personal ambition and the ethical obligations of leadership. Through a series of meticulously planned segments, the performer constructed a narrative arc that challenged viewers to think critically about the relationships between public image, power, and accountability, without resorting to simplistic condemnations or overt political slogans. Historical parallels can be drawn between this event and previous moments in cultural history when art became the vehicle for a political dissent. Over the decades, artists have repeatedly used their platforms to highlight societal contradictions and moral ambiguities. In this instance, the performance became a modern echo of such revolutionary traditions, tapping into a long lineage of cultural commentary that has sought to expose the fissures in power structures. This connection to a rich artistic heritage was evident in the creative choices made on stage, where symbolic imagery and abstract narratives replaced conventional rhetoric. The performance thus not only captivated audiences in the moment, but also linked contemporary cultural protests to a broader historical continuum of artistic resistance. The broadcast was more than just a display of creative prowess. It was an invitation to reconsider the social contract between leaders and the public. By pushing the envelope of what could be depicted in a live televised event, the artist forced a re-examination of the norms that govern political communication. The innovative fusion of sound, movement, and visual abstraction created an immersive environment that blurred the lines between spectacle and statement. In doing so, the performance illuminated the potential for art to act as a mirror reflecting the complexities of modern governance, where appearances often mask deeper, more troubling realities. This approach invited viewers to engage in a dialogue about the responsibilities inherent in wielding political power, challenging the prevailing culture of superficiality and spin. Another significant aspect of this memorable event was its ability to transform passive viewership into active, reflective engagement. The performance was crafted in such a way that it did not simply entertain, it compelled each individual to confront their own understanding of what it means to be governed in a society that is increasingly skeptical of traditional power structures. The sensory impact of the performance, achieved through unexpected juxtapositions and carefully chosen artistic flourishes, served to awaken dormant critical faculties in the audience. This awakening was not confined to the immediate moment of broadcast, but carried the promise of a lasting influence on how future generations would perceive the interplay between art and politics. Beyond its immediate impact on public discourse, the performance raised profound questions about the future trajectory of political commentary in an era marked by rapid technological and social change. It provided a glimpse into a world where the conventional barriers between celebrity and activist are becoming increasingly permeable, where cultural icons are not merely entertainers, but active participants in the shaping of political debate. This evolution challenges traditional notions of who is qualified to participate in the public sphere and redefines the very meaning of political engagement. The artist's willingness to embrace this dual role, merging entertainment with incisive critique, underscored the potential for creative voices to drive social change in an era where conventional political mechanisms are often seen as ineffective or unresponsive. The performance also underscored the transformative power of mass media in disseminating alternative narratives and amplifying dissenting voices. In a time when media landscapes are saturated with repetitive sound bites and carefully curated images, the event shattered expectations by presenting a raw, unfiltered exploration of themes that are too often sanitized or overlooked. This unorthodox approach served as a wake-up call, reminding viewers that beneath the glossy veneer of political spectacle lies a more complex and often troubling reality. The artist's bold redefinition of public space not only expanded the vocabulary of protest, but also demonstrated that creative expression can cut through the noise of conventional media channels to reach a deeper level of public consciousness. The ripple effects of this innovative performance are likely to extend well into the future, influencing the ways in which political dissent and cultural criticism are expressed. It has set a new precedent for how artists can harness the power of performance to question established power hierarchies and ignite transformative conversations among a wide array of audiences. In an era marked by rapid societal changes and heightened scrutiny of leadership, the bold fusion of art and activism witnessed in this event offers a powerful reminder that creativity remains one of the most potent tools for challenging the status quo. This performance stands as a testament to the enduring capacity of art to inspire reflection, galvanize communities, and ultimately reshape the narratives that define our collective understanding of governance and power. The convergence of these creative strategies and their implications for the broader cultural landscape reveals a dynamic moment of reinvention. With a deft combination of innovative symbolism and visceral performance, the event defied easy categorization, emerging as a landmark instance of artistic audacity. It illuminated a pathway where the forces of creativity and dissent can intertwine to forge new dialogues about authority, accountability, and the enduring role of the artist in society. As audiences continue to process the multifaceted layers of meaning embedded in the performance, it is clear that this moment will be remembered not only for its immediate shock value, but also for its lasting contribution to the evolving conversation about the power of art in a complex, ever-changing world. The groundbreaking moment continued to evolve in unexpected ways, forging a fresh blueprint for artistic intervention in the political arena. This innovative broadcast transcended conventional protest methods, inaugurating a narrative framework that reached beyond typical entertainment confines. New staging techniques and unorthodox theatrical motifs emerged, accompanied by a striking wardrobe that contributed to an aesthetic complexity never previously witnessed in politically infused television events. A palette of novel visual codes and avant-garde dramatizations created an immersive atmosphere, capturing the attention of viewers with an intensity that was both captivating and disconcerting. The event resonated as a pioneering example of how creative expression can open untrodden paths, challenging entrenched political paradigms through unconventional storytelling methods. This bold display signified a fresh chapter for performers determined to integrate artistic innovation with socio-political activism. Observers remarked that such inventive approaches set a formidable benchmark for future productions intent on questioning the status quo. The moment quickly became emblematic of a broader movement that prizes originality, subtlety, and transformative insight. A vivid demonstration that art remains a vital instrument for reimagining public discourse and altering perceptions of power. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Taylor Swift obliterating Trump and Melania's marriage on TV? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.